Hey, I'm LuAnn Marlow with the Dream Baby broadcast, and on this video I'm going to give you 14 facts about the flu and the flu vaccine, and hopefully these will be 14 reasons why you will get your family vaccinated this season. So don't go away. So fact number one, the flu is a virus. It's called influenza, and it causes sudden onset of symptoms. So you can be fine in the morning and then all of a sudden develop symptoms in the afternoon. This hallmark of the flu is really high fever. The fever can last up to 10 days. 10 days of fever, that's a lot. You usually have a lot of cold symptoms too, so congestion, runny nose, really bad cough. Body aches are one of the really big parts of the flu. The other part of the flu that's pretty significant is that it tends to have complications, and that's one of the reasons why we vaccinate, is because we want to prevent those complications. The complications that we see in children are ear infections, pneumonia, dehydration, and then some other more significant bacterial infections that can lead to hospitalization and even death. Fact number two, the flu is really common. It spreads really easily, and it spreads even in really healthy children. A lot of times people think that this is only a illness that sick people get, or people who have immune system problems. But the flu spreads really rapidly, and it spreads to people who are healthy, just like you and me, and just like your children. Fact number three, it only takes about 2 to 4 days after somebody's been exposed to actually get the flu. And this is how it spreads so easily. People can actually start spreading the flu to other people before they contract the symptoms. So for example, somebody gets the flu, they give it to somebody else starts getting the flu in their body, and then they start passing it to somebody else before they actually get sick. So for example, your child is in daycare, some other child is in daycare and has been exposed to the flu, they start passing it to your child before they actually start developing symptoms, and that's how your child gets the flu. Or your child's in gymboree, or your child is in gymnastics class. That's how easily the flu is spread. Fact number four, the flu vaccine significantly reduces the risk of children getting the flu, getting the complications of the flu, and dying from the flu. Children are the most vulnerable population to get the flu, and the flu vaccine protects them. The flu can cause death. Last year in the United States, 179 children died from the flu. That was a record number. And of those children who died from the flu, 80% of those children had not received a flu vaccine. Number 6, the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends that every child over 6 months of age receive a flu shot or a flu injection. Number 7, some children who have never been vaccinated for the flu before will need to get 2 flu vaccines in their first year. Those children would be children between the ages of 6 months and 8 years old. So if your child is between 6 months and 8 years old and they've never had a flu shot before, then they will need to get 2, 1 month apart, the first time. Fact number 8, any baby less than 6 months old is too young to get vaccinated for the flu. That means that every person that child comes in contact with on a regular basis needs to be vaccinated to protect that baby. That means everybody who lives in their household, parents, grandparents, other children, their daycare providers, grandparents who come in contact with them on a regular basis, all of those people need to be vaccinated, because that baby is the most vulnerable and they need to be protected. Fact number 9, all pregnant women need to be vaccinated for the flu, and this will protect her as well as her baby when the baby is born. And that baby will be protected for the first several months of the baby's life. The mom can receive the flu vaccine at any point during her pregnancy. Fact number 10, children who have egg allergies can receive the flu vaccine without any added precautions. Now that has been confusing for people in the past, but there are no contraindications for children with egg allergies to receive the flu vaccine. Fact number 11, you should not avoid the flu vaccine and rely on antiviral medicines as a substitute. These would be like the medicine TAMIFLU. That is not a substitute or a protection in place of the flu vaccine, and it is not recommended to be used that way. This year, the FLUMIST is available again. However, the American Academy of Pediatrics is not recommending the FLUMIST as a first choice for flu vaccine. So, as you may remember, the FLUMIST was available on the market for several years, and then the last couple of years it was taken off of the market because it wasn't as effective as we wanted it to be. So this year the Academy of Pediatrics is kind of going to take a wait and see approach to the FLUMIST and see just how effective it is this flu season. And so because of that, we want to have children get the flu shot just like they've gotten the last couple of years. And so the only kids that we really want to get that would be those kids who just wouldn't be getting the flu shot. Like if you refuse to get the flu shot for your kids, or your kids refuse to take the flu shot, then the FLUMIST would be a good option for them. Or the other alternative would be if your pediatric practice runs out of flu shots, then the FLUMIST would be an option. But we still want to use the flu injection as the first choice for most children. Number 13, you cannot get the flu from the flu vaccine. Now, I am sure you've heard this before and you may have had some questions about it yourself, but you cannot get the flu from the flu vaccine. The flu vaccine is not a live virus. It doesn't contain any of the live vaccine in the flu shot. But why do people have this question? Well, there are a lot of times where people get some symptoms after getting the flu vaccine. Sometimes they may have some soreness in their arm. They may even have a little bit of fever. They may have some body aches. Sometimes people actually get the flu after getting the flu vaccine, or sometimes people get sick after getting the flu vaccine. So what's the answer there? Did they get the flu from the flu shot? No. Here's what happens. When you get the flu vaccine, it takes about 2 weeks before the vaccine actually gives you immunity. Your body has to build up antibodies to the flu in order to protect you. In that 2-week period of time, you could be exposed to someone who has the flu, and then you could get sick. When you get the flu vaccine, you could have already been exposed to someone who had the flu, because remember, someone could have the flu and not develop symptoms for a couple of days. So you could have already been exposed to someone with the flu, and you could get the flu before your vaccine protects you. So that's most likely what happened when someone says, I got the flu vaccine and I got the flu. So did the flu vaccine make you sick? No. Unfortunately, it didn't have time to protect you before you were already exposed. But there's no way that the flu vaccine can actually give you the flu. Number 14, is it possible to get the flu after getting the flu vaccine? Yes, you can still get the flu after getting the flu vaccine. Getting the flu vaccine is not a 100% guarantee to protect you from getting the flu. There are so many different strains of the flu in the community. Whether you get the flu or not depends on a lot of different things. It depends on the strain of flu that's in the community at the time. It depends on the strains of flu in the vaccine. It depends on your own health. It depends on the age of the person, whether you're an elderly person or a very young child. And then it also depends on when you got the vaccine. It takes your body a while to build up the immunity for the flu. And so in that period of time, if you were exposed to the flu, you could develop the flu, and the flu vaccine is not 100% guaranteed to protect you. However, if you get the flu and you've already had the flu vaccine, you oftentimes don't get as difficult a case. Your symptoms oftentimes don't last as long, and you usually get over it a little bit faster, but there's never any guarantee of that. But statistically, people who get the flu vaccine have fewer complications and fewer hospitalizations and fewer deaths. So those are 14 facts about the flu and the flu vaccine. Those are based on the 2018-2019 recommendations from the American Academy of Pediatrics for your children. I hope that those facts will help you in deciding the importance of getting the vaccine for your children this year. If you have any questions about these, if you have concerns about the vaccine or you're not quite sure about what to do, please talk to your own healthcare provider before making a decision not to vaccinate your child. I will be happy to answer any questions that I can, but let's do everything we can to help protect your child this flu season. Thanks for watching.